Everyone thinks snow shoveling is so easy, but it's really quite technical. It's very advanced. It's a science, not an art. It's not just willy-nilly. You can't just scoop up any snow you want. So I'm gonna make this instructional video to show you how exactly you should do it and not any other way. First of all, what equipment do you need? Well, you need snow, you need a shovel, and not just any shovel, Snow Remover 3000, with plastic imported from Germany and created specifically by German engineers, with West Brazilian teak wood, polished by only the best craftsmen. And this kind of base, it's got to be the right width, right? Now this is about a 2 foot 3 thumb base, and yeah, that's the measurement we use here in North America. And that's what you're going to want to have to shovel all that snow, okay? Now first, to show you technique, we're going to go on this little practice driveway we have over here. Now this is not the real driveway, this is a walkway. I'm not sure if you know the difference, but it's for practice, that's why we have them. And the practice to the walkway is the stairs. Stairs are practices for walkways, walkways are practices for driveways, driveways are practices for roads. So, on stairs, it's a little different. You're going to want to bend your knees, not the back. You don't want to be doing this. Bend your knees, about a 45-degree angle. And now I could start all the way back here, but that would not be a 45-degree angle, would it? It would be a 90-degree angle with the ground. So that's the wrong angle. 45-degree angle, give or take. It's, you know, we have 1 or 2 degrees of leeway. Now on the stairs, I want to keep 1 foot up, 1 foot down. Switch it up a little, 1 foot up a little bit. Makes a lot of noise too. You want to make sure to keep it at the consistent volume, not too loud, not too quiet. If it's too quiet, people will think you're some sort of magical elf. If it's too loud, you'll just be annoying. Then we either flip it over, or if you get really advanced, don't try this just to start. You lift it up and you throw it. You have to make sure to lift with your knees too, and just keep your bottom hand in the same place. Push forward, push through. It's like a karate bow staff, right? You're just poking, but you gotta launch your body with it. Now let's move on to something a little more complex. Now we don't finish the whole strip in just one go. You see in the stairs, it was 1 scoop, done. Stairs done, it's all over. That's not actually how it works in real life, kids. So what I'm actually going to do with this, just because of the weird shape here, you see it's kind of a curve. I'd say that's about a 90-degree curve here. We're actually going to go in. Now you might think, well, Ian, this is not a 45-degree angle, but it is clearly a 45-degree angle in the opposite direction. And I'm going to arc it over into another 45-degree angle so that I've scooped a little bit out. And I'm going to scoop myself a little bit of a half plate. Here I can actually stand up until I need to lift. At the stairs I didn't because it was so short. Here it's a little bit longer, a little bit heavier. I can kind of just push, and then when I need to lift, really gotta get a last good hefty scoop in there. Lift with your knees and toss. Or lift with your knees and turn. Then we go back. We'll do this side first. Now here, I'm not even going to do a whole toss. I'm just going to go like that. It's just a little throw up, pull back, down. Throw up, pull back, down. Got it? Okay, let's try the other side. It's always good to switch up because your back, your arms, you know, they'll get sore, you'll get strained. It's not really what you want to do. So this time, this is not my preferred way, but I know I have to do it for personal health reasons, and you should too. So push in, lift up, and let's try a turnover, because why not? The turnovers take a little more time, but they can be more satisfying, so if you prefer that kind of thing, go for it. You can turn over either way, but I would recommend that the hand that is on top turn in towards your body, because this way is really just difficult. Now see what I've done there is I've made one of the biggest mistakes you can make. I've stepped on the snow. You might think it doesn't matter, right? That's less snow to shovel now. It's less snow. No, it's not less snow. It's the same amount of snow, but it's closer together. It's compacted snow. Compacted snow doesn't just come off just like that. You have to really push up against the ground, scrape back a little bit, and even then you leave a bit of a mark, and that stuff's not fun because it can turn into ice later and you'll slip on it, right? But sometimes we have to deal with it, and then we do. We scrape a little bit. Lift up and flip. Right. So now there's two other things I want to say. Come and take a look over here. We have a bit of snow, which is weird because I shoveled here before, if you remember. And yet there's a bunch of snow right there. So what's happened is I've actually taken some snow on the shovel, and either when I pulled back after throwing, some dropped off like that, or when I was shoveling, I missed it this way, and I missed it this way. I think it was the first one in this case, but sometimes we do have to just go back, scoop out those little bits again, and back. Now I'm just going to finish up the rest of this mini driveway, a walkway as it's actually called, and then I'll show you a little more of the bigger steps. So now that I've finished this little walkway, there's another thing I want to show you. When it's snowing so much like it does here in the winter, we snow shovel quite often, and the snow builds up. As you can see right here, pretty soon there's not going to be much snow. I'm going to be throwing on top and throwing on top and throwing on top, and I'm not going to be able to reach it anymore. It's going to put a lot of strain on my back and my arms and my legs and my fingers and my toes and my neck and my upper back. So what we want to do is periodically take the same sort of scoop but at a bit of a flatter angle into the side, just lift it up and throw over. Because the other thing is it does not only snow on the driveway, it also snows on the snow piles from the snow shoveled driveway, which means that the buildup happens even faster. So we just have to scoop that fresh snow off right there. Down here I can feel it's a little more solid, so I'm not going to try and scoop that off. That's just a waste of time. Scoop some of it over. Just throw it over. Oh, and I've let it a little bit fall there. Get back up there. Now I don't want to spend too much time on that because I've got a driveway to shovel and it's still snowing. If you look back right over where we already shoveled, there's snow building right up there again. So we gotta go faster. So in every good driveway shoveling, you have to start at the start. At the stairs, I started at the start. In the walkway, I started at the beginning, right? You go from the start, you do all the sides, you push it to the side, and then you come in. Now here, I'm at a problem, because I've used the walkway to access the driveway, but the driveway start is over there. Which means I have to get there, but I don't want to step on the snow, because that would ruin my shoveling ability. It would make it a lot harder. So I have two choices here. One, I could be a maniac. I could go over here. I could step on this after shoveling it properly, of course. And I could jump down. But that's quite dangerous. Canada is very icy in the winter, and I don't want to hurt myself. So sometimes we have to break the conventions a little to further other conventions. Right there. And what I'm going to do is called the bypass maneuver. It was founded in 1952 by the founder of this very home, actually. They had this exact same problem, and they developed this procedure for all people with walkways leading to the center of their driveways and not the beginning. So we are simply going to take a bit of an arc, and here we're going to hold it differently. You see the handle is specifically shaped so that I could hold it like this or like this. And this is when I don't have room to the side to step next to the shovel, and I only have room behind. I can use it as just a snowplow in front of me. I will have to move back to this position to remove the snow completely, but for the time being it's good enough. So we're going to arc around, and here you'll see I have to shift it around, spin it around, so that I can remove some but not all, take note, some but not all of the snow and put it on this pile over here. And I will do that a few times. And now, I have a little more to go before I can step over there. Now, I am at the start of the driveway. Don't do that. Now we're going to be moving into a time lapse. We're going to be applying all of the concepts we've learned so far and put it into the real deal, the big driveway. We're only going to be doing this half because it's the half that's visible to the camera. If there weren't two cars here, I would have showed you the whole driveway. It's a little bit more advanced, so maybe I'll do that in a future video, but for now we'll just be doing this half of the driveway. It functions as its own driveway, really. You'll see I'll be doing a little bit more bypass maneuvers as the pile over there is getting quite large and there's limited space. But for the most part, it'll be what you've seen so far, just to a larger scale. It's a real blizzard out here. It's just snowing all over the place. Even so, I'm getting pretty warm shoveling, so I've kept my jacket open to let the heat out a little bit. Now, we've gotten to quite a difficult part of the driveway. If we turn and look over here, we see the end of the driveway. What makes it so difficult is that when the plower that snow shovels the roads for us, yeah, I'm not even at that level yet. When the plower drives by, they spray up a whole bunch of snow onto the side here, and you can kind of see it in the texture here. It's a little bit more rough. It's not as smooth as freshly fallen snow in other parts of the driveway. And that's from all those little balls of snow that have been shot up. And so, there's two difficulties here. One, the snow builds up as I shovel anyway, and that combines with the snowplow to make the driveway snow very heavy and thick here. Two, there's snow on the road that I do actually also need to shovel that the plower can't reach, and it's not technically part of the driveway, but for all intents and purposes, the car goes through it, so it is kind of part of the driveway, and I have to shovel it. The thing is, as this snow builds up, it falls over there, and that snow gets even more heavy. So what I like to do, and not everyone does this, but I think it's the most scientific way to do it, is I have to do another bypass maneuver, not as curved, but I have to do another bypass maneuver, get to the road snow, and get that out of the way before we deal with the end of driveway snowplow snow. That way, when this snow falls over, there's not an excessive amount on the road. So I'm just going to show the bypass maneuver and then we'll hop back into time-lapse mode, because this part, even though it's a lot smaller in area, it actually takes just about as long as the rest of the driveway does together. So, straight through all this snow. And what's actually really special about this bypass maneuver is we're gonna do what's called an extra long uber throw. Now the extra long uber throw requires lifting early, getting a nice deep squat, pulling back really far. Now not all of that snow made it onto the pile, but that's okay. It's a lot closer to the pile, so I can deal with that later on. It's not procrastination, it's just planning, okay? Let's hop back into time-lapse mode. Alright, so here's the very last strip of snow, and you can join me while we do this. I'll go over the steps one more time. 45-degree angle, bend at the knees, not the back. Lower hand, upper hand, look where you're shoveling, and shovel. Get a last scoop, lift with the knees, throw it over. Take any excess snow in the wall, throw it over. Take any of these extra bits you left behind. Switch your hand every now and then. And there we go. The whole driveway is empty of snow. There's no snow left. It's completely not white. I can promise you that for a fact.